Are you ready for this? I'm Joe with Trainer Joe's Health and Weight Loss. Today, we're asking the question and I'm answering it. Why should you fast? Water only, no food. Why should you do that? It's quite popular right now, and there's tons of health benefits to fasting, including resting your digestion, detoxing your body, and lots of other things. But that's not the reason, those aren't the reasons that I'm saying you should fast. I'm challenging you to fast on a regular basis. One, if you're watching this and you're a regular watcher, you probably are wanting to lose weight. So we need to work on that. So most people are struggling to lose weight because of their mindset, because of their beliefs, what they think about food, how they relate to food. They have a relationship with food that's not healthy. It's not as much that the foods they're eating are unhealthy as that the relationship is unhealthy. We get unhealthy when we have relationships that are unhealthy, whether it's a relationship with a person that's unhealthy or a relationship, let's say your doctor prescribed medication for you to help you get healthy, but you abuse the medication. You have an unhealthy relationship with the medication. Suddenly you're an addict and you've got health problems and lots of problems because of the abuse of the medication. So the fast is to help change our mindset and the way we relate to food. Most of us aren't going to change until we experience what? Pain. We're going to have to experience some level of discomfort, or we just keep going the direction we're going in. When people come to my program, they're usually in some level of pain, or they're not going to come to this. They're going to keep doing what they were doing. So you're going to wait for a heart attack to make a change, or more pain in your knees, or more pain in your back, or the blood pressure to go up so that you need more medication. So those would be things you could do. Or you could bring it on yourself through a self-imposed crisis. That's what a fast is. It's imposing the crisis on you so you can get to the change more quickly than having to wait for a heart attack. And rather than there being health risks of fasting, there's mostly, if not solely, health benefits to it. So, put yourself in the self-imposed crisis of a fast. It's going to help you with your mindset change. Because eventually, you need to learn to say no to cake. You need to learn to say no to candy. You need to learn to say no to chips. You need to learn to say no to eating at certain times. We need to do that, or we have an unhealthy relationship. Why don't we just eat all the time? Why do you ever stop eating? And you could say, well, because I'm full. Well, you're not full of Rice Krispie treats. I mean, you could surely have another Rice Krispie treat and avoid it. So we have spaces where we don't eat. What if we extended those? Well, we start running into ways of feeling that we don't necessarily like. Well, a fast kind of does that. It puts us into this extended time where food's not a part of our life and we're having to deal with that. You know why I believe most people struggle with their weight? Because food has become an idol. Food is taking the place of something that it's not supposed to take the place of. We're using and abusing food. We're hoping to get something out of food that it's never going to give us and was never meant to give us. And when that's gone, it causes a discomfort and uneasiness that we don't like. This ain't fun. The way I feel right now, cake would go really good with it. So we get mad and we look to food. We get really happy in celebration and we look to food. We're bored and we're looking to food. We're lonely, we're looking to food. And food is not meant to be that solution. So when we're without it, we're struggling. We have this vacuum. That's when it's time to pray and say, God, what am I supposed to be doing right now instead of eating cake? Because it ain't cake that's going to fix this problem. So fasting will help us, will remind us that it's only food. When you go 18, 24, 36, 48 hours with no food, it messes with you. And it's supposed to mess with you. We need to get to where we're more comfortable being uncomfortable, not eating. We use it and we abuse it like a drug. We really need an intervention, but an intervention ain't coming. This is about as close as it's going to get to an intervention, is me being honest. Most people aren't even willing to do that. So the fast will help you gain clarity and freedom. It's not an end all, but it's going to help. And if you're not willing to do that for 24 hours, I'll question how serious you are. I was working with a lady. She wanted to lose about 200 pounds. She was 5 foot tall. She had a lot of weight to lose, and I was trying to help her. And she didn't want to change her eating. She just wanted to exercise more. You're not going to outrun your fork. She was hoping she could, and she did work out. I was impressed with her exercise routine. But she wouldn't change her eating. And she said, Joe, the only vegetables I like are cream corn and ketchup. I said, well, that's limited. And then she said, and the only fruit I like, she said, really is applesauce. She didn't want any real fruit. So you can see what I was working with there. And I said, well, what about just eating less of what you eat? She said, okay, I'll do that. And after a day, I realized, no, she wasn't willing to do that. Food meant so much to her. And to ask to let it go and to hold it more lightly was asking too much for where she was. A fast helps us to hold it more lightly and recognize it's only food. Most of us struggle with the idea of simply eating less. We want to change our circumstances. We want a better metabolism, a pill that makes us not feel this way, an exercise routine that changes the game. We want to change our circumstances. If we would take that energy that we put to trying to change our circumstances to change ourself, then our circumstances aren't going to be that important anymore. The fasting will help you change yourself and the way you believe and the way you think about things. It's not usually much fun. It's a crisis that you're imposing upon yourself because you have something you want to accomplish that's not going to happen. We don't get diamonds and gold without digging and mining for it. And that's what we're after here. When you have a weight issue, it's a big deal. And if we don't start digging and mining and going deep, it's just going to stay there and we're going to continue to have that problem. That's my take on it. You've had enough. How would we determine if something's an idol or not when it comes to food, maybe? I would say if you've had enough, you keep eating, even though you've gained an excessive amount of weight and it's hurting you, wouldn't it be fair to say, well, that's might be an idol in my life. Did I need to ask God what I should be doing instead of that? That's what we're after. This is not easy. Very few people are going to find this easy. You're going to have to take the bull by the horns and get real with it. You're not just going to wander into the right weight. We wander into obesity, but we don't wander into the right weight. You're going to have to make this real, make it count. I'm Trainer Joe. I'm here to help you, to guide you, to train your brain and transform your body. I hope to see you this coming Tuesday at our 30th group at Strong Shop Fitness. There's some info below. God bless. Thanks for tuning in. Share this with somebody that might be helped by it.